Thoughtless Jester back again. Like, share, and subscribe. I have my beautiful 1947 Phillips International Atlas that I purchased from the United Kingdom fairly recently. I recommend buying any older books you find that are talking about subjects like this. Anything before World War II and around that time, pre-moon landing specifically, you will get some legitimate information and compare it with what we have today. So what I have is PortsDOTcom and their estimation on shipping lane distances. Then I compare that to Google Maps and their estimated distances, and then compare that to the Atlas from 1947 and the distance that it estimates in nautical miles. Now you must remember, these communication lines is a physical item that was laid under the water. It's a physical item. So the measurement is going to be pretty exact on this item that has been placed under the water. So just remember that. Now, to be fair, these are shipping lanes that aren't exact, but the distance differences in these shipping lanes that I estimate from PortsDOTcom are so insanely obsolete, insanely new, but obsolete. They're so insanely off from what I have here with this real information based on real experience that it's ridiculous. So let's go Sydney to Panama. That's this in here, Sydney to Panama. It's gone. Obviously, we go around, fall off the earth, and pop up over here and head over towards the Panama Canal. So that distance, estimated by my Atlas with a stop off in Tahiti, that distance is 6,015 nautical miles. As the crow flies, as determined by Google Maps, 7,562 nautical miles. And unfortunately, PortsDOTcom believes this distance to be 14,985 nautical miles. But we should believe them because they're the authority on these distances. The difference is 8,970 nautical miles. That's a difference of opinion between this book of real things that were laid under the ocean in 1947 and previous to that, and their measurements based on those actions, or PortsDOTcom. Decide. It's up to you. Yokohama to Victoria. Atlas.com 1947 says 4,200 nautical miles. Yokohama to Victoria from Google, 7,602. And from Ports.com, this distance is 21,657. I'll repeat it. Yokohama, Japan to Victoria, British Columbia is 21,657 nautical miles as far as Ports.com is concerned. A difference of 17,457 nautical miles. The difference in nautical miles distance is like 75%, I haven't done the calculation, of the entire circumference of the Earth, 24,903 miles. What's that in nautical miles? It's less. So come on. Don't be ridiculous. So, back to our math. Yokohama to Honolulu. Yokohama, Japan to Honolulu. Now, that Yokohama, Victoria is a direct. Yokohama to Victoria is direct. Yokohama to Honolulu is how you would get to Victoria the long way about. So let's go Yokohama to Honolulu. Atlas.com, 3,379 nautical miles. Google.com, 3,352 nautical miles. Ports.com, 22,022 nautical miles. 22,022 nautical miles. A difference of 18,643 nautical miles. How is there this much discrepancy between the opinion of Ports.com and this Atlas from 1947 who is measuring communication lines, direct lines, straight lines between these locations? Yokohama to Honolulu. It's crazy. So, Honolulu to Victoria. Now, Honolulu, Hawaii to Victoria, based on Atlas1947.com, is 2,339 nautical miles. Google Maps, 2352. Ports.com, 3680 nautical miles, with a difference of 1341. Cape Town to Hobart, now in the southern, quote, hemisphere. Cape Town to Hobart, 5838 nautical miles from Atlas.com, 5407 from Google Maps, 6483 nautical miles from Ports.com. Interestingly enough, I'll say one more and I'll kind of get to my point. Rio to Cape Town now, again in the can't use that one. So Rio to Cape Town actually isn't on here. You would think it would be on here because that's a short distance. So one would think that's the shorter distance than going up here and back down here. But it's not even on here. That shipping lane does not exist. But on Google Maps, it's 3,269 nautical miles between Rio de Janeiro and Cape Town. Ships, Ports.com, 3,882 nautical miles. I won't have a comparison because this doesn't exist back in 1947. I guess they didn't have the technology. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and now we can't build it again. Quebec City to Liverpool, back up in the north again. Quebec City to Liverpool is 2,492 nautical miles, 4,727 nautical miles from Google. Ports.com, 3122, a difference of 630 nautical miles. Again, these differences don't make any sense, and it's actually the opposite. So communications comparison numbers in the southern hemisphere are the opposite of shipping lane comparisons in the southern hemisphere. Why is that? Why do you think there's so many differences? Research where you live, where you exist, the reality that you exist in. Observations will show you the reality that you exist in, not maths, because maths does not create reality. Thoughtless Jester, have a great day.